Hello and welcome to a Monster Hunter World video. In this video, I'm going to be fighting in an optional quest up against Rathalos and Rathian. Now, the first time I actually fought these two, both of them, back when I was trying to farm Rathalos for his armor, it didn't really go that well. I was actually kind of in a panic the whole time. Every time Rathian would just stop by and say hello while I was fighting Rathalos, and the fight would just get intense. And I distinctly remember just how my heart was just thundering every time they were both there, and I was just clawing for life and just like barely scraping by, trying to survive while doing as much damage to Rathalos as possible. And to see just how easily I was able to kill both of them right now. I didn't kill both of them in the previous in one of the previous videos that I uploaded. I just wanted Rathalos. I had no interest in killing a Rathian as well. I was just looking for Rathalos because I already had Rathian's full armor set back then. I mean, you don't really go. I didn't really go up against Rathalos until I had Rathian's full armor set, just to make things a bit more easier. And yeah, I was just farming Rathalos at that point, and I was just looking for his parts, and Rathian just came by, and it was a chaos. And well, in this match I did not expect to really go down as quickly as they did, unless of course something about this optional mission makes them, I don't know, gives them a little bit less health to make it easier. I don't know. It did feel like they had a lot less health. Well, kind of. Although to be fair, I was using a bow which is pure dragon damage, plus it also deals a low amount of Elder Seal, which I believe weakens something. It weakens, I don't really know what weakens, but it does weaken something. And both Rathian and Rathalos have an enormous weakness against dragon, followed second by thunder, but I always, the dragon apparently is the strongest. And yeah, I did not expect that. Now keep in mind, I'm at this point in the game, I am way ahead than most of my other videos. This is the latest video that I have made. In fact, I made this video today, and I am at the point where I'm doing high ranking missions, and just trying to bear with the thought of, oh great, it's definitely, I guess it's what you would call a new game plus, except it's not a new game, it's just a continuation. um, talk about extending the game. It works out anyways, and I have gear that basically makes me a lot stronger, and has me with better defense. Now, when it comes to fighting these two couples, this two couples. This couple is, well, both Rathian and Rathalos always go to their nest. So basically, all you have to do when you start the quest is go straight up into their nest, like where I am right now. And if there's an egg, just grab it and just run around with it. That will basically drive, I think, one of them. Mostly, I think it's either Rathian or Rathalos. I did notice that Rathian made a beeline for it as soon as I grabbed that egg and started running around with it. She literally just went straight here. She came straight to me. So I'm guessing Rathian is the one who will be basically attacking first, and that's actually very good because Rathian has the least health among Rathalos, I think. Well, she should, and yeah, you can just start attacking her and deal as much damage until you kill her. Now in the fight, Rathalos did decide to stop by and make things a bit more tricky and more difficult, and sometimes he actually, I was so trying to focus to like pay attention to like Rathian, that he basically went to my blind spot where I can't see and just ambushed me. So even though I'm wearing high-ranking equipment, I'm still fighting at my best, and that one flanking nearly cost me like, well, death. So I didn't want to, like, well, what is the word? Underestimate them. Or overestimate myself, just always pay attention. I did try to pay attention to Rathalos while trying to pay attention to Rathian. It's not an easy task. What I did was basically visualize what Rathalos might be doing after all the fights I had with him. So it just, it came into my head as to what he might be doing, and I tried to dodge accordingly. Now, when it comes to using a bow against these two wyverns, um, the best thing to do is to go for their wings. Now, normally when I'm using a light bowgun, which is my choice preference, I would basically use slicing ammo to cut off their tails, number one priority, and then use thunder ammo for their wings before using pierce ammo and just, trying to aim for the head. When they're down to the ground, I'll use spread or sticky ammo on their faces. I'll use my wyvern blast to deal some damage. I'm very surprised to see just how well the bow does. The bow is all about maneuverability, and in fact, it gives you even more maneuverability than the light bowgun. Yeah, it's actually pretty. I'm surprised at how effective it can be. Now, in this is where Rathalos decided to drop by. Now, I don't know if they damage each other. Well, when they breathe fire on each other, I don't think they damage each other. But I don't know when they swipe at, swipe or deal or do an attack, do they actually hit each other? Because I'm not seeing any damage markers. Then again, I'm not really doing anything, so I don't really know. I don't really think so. I don't really think they're actually damaging each other. But if they are, I guess it would make sense as to why. It seemed like they had really low health. Although, like I said, I am using high-ranking gear. Although my dragon bow is, I believe it's like upgraded once, so it's like the second tier of the dragon bow, and it deals as much dragon damage as possible. It deals some pretty decent dragon damage, and these guys are weak against dragon. So yeah. Now this was actually a funny part. I thoroughly enjoyed this part. This was awesome. Rathalos breaks the dam and they just both become swiped into the river. That was super funny. That actually made me chuckle. Now I had to use the Vitality Mantle in order to negate some damage and heal myself, because I got a little bit too like Rathalos went into my blind side, and I got a little bit too cocky with attacking Rathian that I completely ignored Rathalos. That was a big mistake. I should always pay attention to what he's doing so I can dodge, because he's gonna be attacking me. And yeah, it actually did work in my favor. Now Rathian is pretty much dead at this point. I'm attacking her, dealing damage. Now the landslide does deal damage, I believe, so I'm guessing that's basically what dealt the most damage. And yeah, Rathian is pretty much almost gone. I didn't know this, but apparently she was almost dead. By the time I went up I followed her. I thought I was following her. She went straight for her nest. I thought she was going to the second phase, where they go to like a second location where we fight. Only to find that it was only Rathalos. So I was like, wait, hang on a second. Where did Rathian go? And I realized, oh, she's going maybe to the nest. I suspected that she was going for the nest, so I did a beeline straight for the nest. And it wasn't long before Rathalos followed me as well. I'm guessing they are both drawn to, when you are on their nest, they are both drawn to it. Eventually they will go there. So yeah, if you want to find them or fight them, just be there. Be at their nest. That's where they're always going to be. Instead of chasing them around the map, just go straight for the nest and wait there. They will eventually go there. And if there's a wyvern egg, grab it, run around with it a little bit there in the nest, and yeah, they'll come after you immediately. So yeah, well, we were fighting. It was a very interesting fight. I guess it's an interesting. I never noticed that I'm actually making progress, becoming stronger with the armors. When I'm with the creatures that you fight in the high ranking, or in generally when you encounter stronger creatures, it never seems like you're making any progress when you're equipping armor and stuff, because everything will still like 2 to 3 shot you most of the times. But now fighting these two with this armor, and this is just the armor that I'm wearing right now is like the very first tier armor that you can make in the high rank. It's not a really high ranking armor like the top high ranking. It's literally the first tier. It's like the first armor you made or when you entered the game. It's basically just the first tier of armor. So, and to see just how much just how I can actually be okay with these guys. They're not really doing as much damage to me, and it's interesting. I guess it does. There is some progress into the game, and you do become stronger, which is pretty awesome. Now, I was actually now back at the campsite. I was still focused on Rathian. I was still my priority was to defeat Rathian, and after defeating Rathian, focus on Rathalos in order to take them both down. And yeah, I guess the only real problem that you would actually have is dealing with the poison. They both have poison, so I guess the way if I'm really low, the way I deal with the poison is if I'm really low health, I will not use antidotes because that will just be me. The poison could actually I might need to dodge on a fly that might interrupt my antidote, me drinking an antidote. So it's a lot more worth drinking a healing potion, get my health up as quickly as possible. That way, if I need to, when I'm drinking the antidote and I need to dodge, I still have the time to drink the antidote because I still have health. So I'll drink a mega potion, get my health full up. Then I will drink the antidote, get rid of the poison, and then maybe get pump a smaller healing potion just to just to oh yeah, just to get topped up on health and then just continue the fight. I lost my words there. What the hell? So, so in this fight, Rathian was pretty much in her last legs. I don't really know if they actually can hurt each other. I would assume so. They're two different monsters, and yeah, I was just, I don't know. It did seem like they had a lot less health, and it took really almost to no time. Although, with the new build, I was trying to capture Rathian earlier, only to fail twice because I was killing her too quickly. Like I was doing tons of damage and I didn't see that. Like when you're fighting, you don't really see that they're limping or if they're weakened. So I didn't know how weak she was, and I would kill her, and that would be me failing the capture mission. So yeah, the dragon bowgun definitely the dragon bow definitely deals tons of damage against wyverns, and yeah, I definitely use it. I guess against Rathalos and Rathian, this definitely deals the most damage that I've noticed. And now that I killed Rathian, it's all up to Rathalos, just focusing on him. I believe he changes the locations once, and that's pretty much. And we start fighting, and that's pretty much him almost half dead. Pretty much, I was surprised to find out just how easy he was. Now, I don't really like this phase. I mean, yeah, he grabs you, he throws you down, and stuff, and that's pretty cool and everything. Okay, yeah, I get it. You got me. You can combo me. I'm cool with that. That was my mistake. But then again, staying on the ground like that, just sliding, like what the hell is that for? I mean, I don't get that. I really don't get that. I find that to be an unnecessary. But okay, it's just annoying. That's all. But anyways, moving on to the fight. So Rathalos, my priority is the same as Rathian's. Just take off his wings, both of them, while dodging as much dodging of his strikes as possible. Now I can't really cut his tail with this with the bow. I haven't noticed. I tried cutting the destroying the tail. I think you can cut it if you actually use armor, the dragon piercer, triangle and circle at the same time. But the amount of time it takes to actually use that, you really only can use it when they're stunned, or when they're on the ground unable to move or anything, or when they're really not paying attention to you, because by the time you charge that up, it takes some time. But it is a powerful move, and the best way to deal with it is to basically select a position where the arrow can actually pierce all the way from from the top of their faces to the tip of their tail, or the opposite, so that way you deal as much damage as possible. Yeah, so in the second phase, fighting Rathalos, he went to his next location, and yeah, the fight ensued. Now, like I said, this particular quest is way ahead, and I have some other fights that I want to show before that, but I decided that I was so surprised at just how easy this mission was that I decided, you know what, maybe I can just make just show a little bit of progress that I've made, and it's impressive. So yeah, I just donned in the Vitality Mantle just to negate as much damage as possible. I'm still trying to dodge because the Vitality Mantle still has a limit to how much damage it can negate before becoming, before becoming depleted again. So I'm still trying my best to dodge. I'm just not as, worried about attacking. I'm trying to avoid the most damaging attacks. Well, the attacks that seem to be doing the most damage. If I can avoid an attack, I will, just to allow the vitality mantle to last a little bit longer. And with the bow, I don't really charge my bow maximum. I go up to the second, or I guess the first charge, and then just chain together multiple attacks in order to deal the most damage. And I've also noticed that it'll also, most of the times it'll also like knock them back, or even knock them down at times when it's like fully charged. Well, not fully charged, when they're like, when I do like combo attacks. So, um, yeah, now I'm dealing tons of damage just by attacking his head. I guess his head, when you're using the bow, after destroying their wings, just go straight for the head, and he deals the most damage, and just chain together. The dragon will deal, the dragon element will deal tons of damage, and the Elder Seal will, I guess, weaken them or something. I don't really know what the other. I remember when I fought another monster, it said that the Elder Seal would, like, weaken them, or weaken his armor or something. So I guess it does the same to other creatures, to other dragons, I guess. I don't know, question mark. But yeah, so when he's down like this is where I guess you can use Armor Piercer and just aim straight for the head and have it go all the way to like the back. That way, that's how you actually deal the damage. And I usually only just use it once, just to deal as much damage as possible. And yeah, just like that, he's weakened right now. He's actually ready to die. So he's at really low health, and I already know that he's going to go straight for his nest, so I went straight for it. I just went straight for the nest. And yeah, that was basically the fight. That's basically all the fight. And yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see. I mean, already, like, we have tons of. I guess the high-ranking content is almost like a new game plus, but I have noticed that there are new monsters in there. Yeah, new monsters that pretty much make like your strongest gear when you're playing in the low rank missions is like the weakest. It's not even considered armor in the higher ranking missions. Like I said, the armor that I'm using right now that allowed me to essentially, have decent protection against Rathian and Rathalos at the same time it's pretty much almost nothing in the high ranking missions or expeditions and ultra missions. It does give some protection though, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I just wanted to record the fight, explain a little bit about it, and just show it because it's a really cool fight. I didn't expect to be fighting these guys and actually defeating them. Fighting them, okay, yes. The first time I did it, it was accidental. I didn't know that they both converge on the same exact spot, so having to essentially deal with both of them while just focusing on the one that I wanted was tricky and very, very nerve-wracking, to say the least. Now attacking in the second, when I was doing this optional quest, I was a little bit like concerned, like, am I gonna really be able to do this? But to see how easily it was, I don't know if the quest itself makes it a little bit easier for you, or if they can actually deal damage to each other, or because my bow was actually specifically, it had the Elder Seal, which causes, I guess, it weakens them or something. It weakens maybe their armor or something. But yeah, I guess it's very impressive to see just how stronger you can actually get, and how much experience can definitely make a difference. So yeah, thank you for watching. Stay cool. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye.